Well, hey everyone, it is Wednesday. Oh yes, my middle of the week update on what did I get made. Just a few things. I've had a crazy few days. Now in Sunday's video, I said I wanted to concentrate on remaking my own patterns because on Saturday's market, I'm looking and I'm like, I don't have anything left. I've sold it all. Like I sold Moose the Giraffe and my last Cookie Mouse on Saturday, and I'm standing there scanning and I'm like, where's all my stuff? It's all been sold, which is a good thing. So on Sunday I started with my Cookie Mouse, Nibbles the Country Mouse, and I had applied for a couple of pattern tests. Then I got word that I was selected for one, and I was kind of excited about that. I've tested for Passionate Crafter before with the Paw Patrol dogs, which I haven't made in a long time, and I don't know why. I just haven't done it, and I've sold every one of those that I made. And then I get word from Saucy Puffin Crafts that I got selected to do their little pattern test. So making my patterns kind of got put on hold to do the pattern test. Now I had till Friday on both of them, but I mean, I waited. I didn't do the Passionate Crafter one until yesterday. Well, I finished it yesterday. I started it Monday night, and then I finished it yesterday. But I get up on Tuesday morning and sitting there having my dose of caffeine, trying to reply to comments because I still have like 11,000 comments to clear out from the day that YouTube put me on Creator on the Rise on the trending page or explore page, whatever it's called. It's like there's a lot, and it's going to take me a while to get caught up. So again, if I have not replied to your comment, or at least given it a heart to tell you that I have read your comment, I apologize. I'm getting there. It's just going to take me a little while to clear all that out. Like days, if not weeks, maybe a month. I don't know. It's going to take a long time. So I put the Passionate Crafter pattern off until Monday night. I started it. I got to the point where I had to put the eyes in the head, but because I have to pound these eyes in, I stopped. And then when I got up Tuesday morning and I'm sitting there having my dose of caffeine and getting caught up on the comments or trying to, working on the process, the power goes out. And that was like at 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, I had to leave at 10 o'clock to head to the doctor's office. This is like the last appointment for the foot. And yay, everything is fine. I do not have to go back. I'm thrilled because it's $100 every time you walk in the door. That was a story. So Jenna and I, she was coming with me because we were going to stop by Hobby Lobby because it's fabric week and she has something that she wants to make. And I wanted to check out to see like what kind of smaller print fabrics that they had. Really, I wanted to look at the little fat quarters because I just wanted little samples until I figure out exactly what it is that I want to make. And so we leave, we head over to the interstate, and DOT has the on-ramp blocked off. I'm like, great. I don't know any other way to get there. I know there's other ways to get there, but I don't know the way. So Jenna pulls up GPS on her phone, and we had to like head back towards the house, take this other route, wind through all these twisty roads. I'm stressing out because I hate being late. I absolutely hate being late. And we're winding through the roads, and finally it brings us back to the interstate to the next exit up because according to Google, that is where it is open. So we get on there, and I just barely made it on time. So when we get done from there, we went over to Hobby Lobby, which I didn't realize at the time, but there was one that was only a mile away from there. I thought we were going to have to go over into Zephyr Hills to that Hobby Lobby, but that saved a lot of time there. So she had fabric she wanted to get. She picked out her fabric, and then I didn't really see anything by the yard that I liked, that I knew for sure that I wanted to be able to make something. So I just picked out a few fat quarters. I haven't used any yet because when we got home, I finished the Passionate Crafter pattern. And then I started playing with this other fat quarter pack that I had bought like back in 2020. And the print was, the way they cut the fat quarter, it wasn't usable for what I needed. Like it wouldn't fit. So I had this that was just hanging around. It's like I might as well use it up, especially for testing stuff out. So we did that, and I did the Saucy Puffin Crafts pattern test. Got that out of the way. So yesterday, after the Passionate Crafter one, I just played with some sewing. So I don't have a whole ton of crochet to show you, but I'm going to show you what I got. So, like I said, I started with the Cookie Mouse. Nibbles the Country Mouse. So the first one I did was a little boy, and I remembered his tail this time. I'm not sure this shade of blue, but it is a light blue with the chenille brights. This color, his fur color, is sand. He has 14 millimeter eyes. Pretty sure that's what I grabbed. And the cookie is made out of caramel and Parfait Chunky for the chocolate chips. So I have one little boy Cookie Mouse. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to make a little girl. So we did a little girl. And this time I did go up the one round higher. Like I had said last time, that I felt like I was a little bit low on the ruffle part of the dress. So if you have this pattern and you want to make it a girl, it's very easy. You don't need a written modification. It's super easy. You do not do the color change on the leg. When you do the color changes, when you're going to join the legs to work up to the body. And then on round number 8, you work in back loop only. And then you come back later and do your ruffle. This one I did 2 double crochet, then 3 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 3 double crochet. I alternated it around just to give it a little bit more waviness. I did not do the pocket, and everything else is the same. It's just you don't do the color change on the leg, and you do back loop only on round number 8 of the body. And then you have a little girl mouse. Now, of course, you can add ribbon or a little bow, which I may still do. And I was unsure what color yellow I should use. I have there, I think it's banana, which is a paler yellow, and this one is lemon. And I decided to go with the lemon, and I'm glad I did. I like how bright and cheery that looks. So, we have two cookie mice. And, oh, I forgot her tail. So I got to go back and add a tail to her. You got to forget something, right? Well, then I moved on to the next thing that is my pattern. And I decided I haven't made Mona Brown in a while, and I need to make a Mona Brown. My Mona Brown sold on her first time at market, and I just never got around to making any more. So we did Mona Brown. And this is, again, in the chenille brights. Chocolate and sand. And she turns out pretty darn big in brights. Parfait Chunky, she's like much smaller than this. But she is a really good size in the brights. So this one I had started, I think it was Sunday night. Yes, Sunday night. I had the muzzle, the ears, the arms, the legs, and the tail made. I had everything made. I just needed to do the body and crochet all the parts in. Now, of course, you can crochet or sew on the ears. That is optional. Everything else other than the muzzle is crocheted in. And then I gave her a little hair. And I couldn't decide, do I want to do it in this color or the dark brown? So I went with the lighter color. And I kind of like that because it helps it stand out. So we got Mona Brown. A really big Mona Brown. So, and this again is also my pattern. Well, then we got put on hold. So, Monday I worked on a little bit of sewing. And Tuesday I worked on a little bit of sewing. But before I could allow myself to just like really play, we need to get these pattern tests out of the way. So the one for Saucy Puffin Crafts, I believe the release date is the 9th. It's a super simple pattern. I'm not sure if it's going to be a paid pattern or a free pattern. But it's pretty simple. And this one was my first one. It's a little mini Pop-Tart. So, but I thought my size was a little awkward. It was a little too small for, like, in my opinion, it was a little too small to sell it just individual like this. I mean, I could, but, you know. But this one was done in a 5mm hook with Teddy Bear and Toffee in Parfait Chunky. With the 5mm hook, if I didn't say that. So then I decided, let me try it with the 4mm hook, because the pattern actually says to use a 3.5. But I don't think a 3.5 and Parfait Chunky would get along too well. But so I tried it with a 4mm hook. And that's the size difference. So this size, I'm going to add the little ball change and the clip style keychain thingy. I don't know what to call it. So it can be like a backpack buddy. So I did this one with Toffee and Cream and 12mm eyes. So I did another one and I gave it some little sprinkles. And again, I think that I'm going to add the little chain and clip and make it like a keychain / backpack buddy. So those were super simple to do. And again, I believe it's the 9th that they're coming out. Like I said, I don't know if it's a paid or free pattern, but the 9th. And then I started on, I did a little sewing. I'll show you that stuff in a minute. And then I started on the Passionate Crafter pattern test. And at first I was very excited about this. It is a cat pattern. And there are 4 different style cats. There's a calico, a Siamese, a gray tabby, I think is what it's called. And then, of course, the orange cat. And I requested either the orange or the gray because, you know, it's kind of like the cats that we have. Definitely the orange. The gray is close. So I got picked for the gray one. And, well, all of them come in the same package. I mean, at this point, I could do any one that I wanted to. But I stayed with the pattern that I was, you know, the one that I was picked to test. So, like I said, I started the head. I got to the part where to put the eyes in, and I had to stop. Then I get up, and I have no power to work on it before the doctor's on Tuesday. So I finished it up after I got home. And then when I was finished, I got to play again on the sewing. So here's my kitty. The colors, it says to use light gray and then dark gray. Well, I didn't have a light gray, so I used the dark gray and black. And, I mean, it's pretty cute. I did have to redo the ears a couple of times, and that was the closest I could get it. I mean, it's not bad, but, like, the first time I did it, it went backwards, I think it was. And it was like, okay, that ain't gonna work. So we cut that off and started over. The color changes, even though they're in there, it's pretty easy. I don't necessarily care for this part. I think the little toe beans should be on the bottom and not show in the front like that. Very easy to do. The way she even shows, like, you make all the legs separate and you mark a particular stitch on each leg. Like the right side gets the same stitch, the left side gets the same stitch. So that when you do the belly section, you know exactly what stitch to start when you attach. So that the little toe things come out front, and then, of course, the shape of that sloping shape of the paw, so that it faces the right direction. The tail, you're doing like, I think it's 6, might be 7. You're doing it in the round. You're doing some increases and decreases to give it the little twisty to it. But I did not notice until I was finished with the tail that it says do not stuff the tail. So my tail is stuffed, and I think it looks fine. He's a chunky cat. He is chunky. The people in the tester group were really fast. So, I mean, this is Parfait Chunky, and it's a decent size for being Parfait Chunky. I think it would be huge in Bernat. Probably huge in the brights as well. I almost used the brights because then I would have had the right gray colors to use. But after doing the two monkeys, the two mice and the monkey, you know, the fingers were starting to feel a little stiff again because they haven't had that much of a break. So I went with the Parfait Chunky because it's a lot easier on the hands. But I'm happy with how it turned out. And we'll see how she goes he. This is a he. We'll see how he goes at market. I used 22mm eyes. I probably should have went with the lighter color eye and they'd stand out better. But when the light hits it, they're so pretty. So another cute cat pattern. So now I have a few cat patterns. My favorite, though, is still the one laying on its belly. That one's still my favorite. Okay, so what did I sew? Not a whole heck of a lot. I played around with shapes of bookmarks. And basically, I'm just using up like scraps of fat quarters. I showed you guys the corner bookmark ones in my live. Oops, goes this way. There's this style, and it's kind of a lot of work for what it is. I don't think that, I mean, I don't know. I've never tried to sell sewing at a market. But I don't think you could really ask a high price for a bookmark. Just my opinion. I showed you that I had worked on some little card wallets. I do like making these. But I think it needs to have a little tab added to where you could put a key thing on it. And then it could be like a keychain card wallet. So I might play with that and see. I could, well, that might be too low. I was going to say I could probably add it in here because it's like one piece. You fold and fold. So you're not really seaming up the sides. Only when you do your top stitch does the side get a seam. So I'm not really sure with this particular pattern how I could do that. I don't know. If I put it right up towards the top, I think I can make it work. I'm going to try that today because I get to play with some sewing today. So I had those, and then I had done a few wristlets, but mine are thinner. Most people do them an inch wide. Mine is 3/4 of an inch. I kind of like that because I don't necessarily like bulky. So, and I only did these two. Well, I tried another one, but I made it too short. I had to make it longer, so when it was all said and done, my hand would not fit through the wrist part, like this part here. And I have big hands, so I had Jenna try it. She has very small hands, and she couldn't fit hers in. So that would be like a little kid size. So I just added a few inches to it, and it worked out just fine. So I'm thinking, and these are fast. They're like so easy. I'm thinking what I want to do is have some low-priced adult type sewing items to go with the plushies. So I just showed you those corner bookmarks. Then I was playing around with, I'm looking at YouTube tutorials, like how are they doing it? Bonnie had suggested doing like crazy quilt style, which I think those are really cool, but I do not like that I can't have a nice smooth clean edge with it. What I saw was they used pinking shears to trim the edge, and I didn't like that. So I was playing around, and I did not, yes I did, it's over here. I was playing around, and it's not really a crazy quilt per se, but I didn't like the raw edge, so I tried doing the zigzag stitch over the edge, you know, kind of like you would with a serger. And to me, it's just sloppy. But I mean, it's kind of cool with the different fabrics like that. But I don't like the sloppy look. So that style is out. That, you know, Jenna can have those in use for bookmarks. So then I was like, you know what? I got out a piece of paper and to check out sizing so that when I do my folds, am I going to get a decent size for a bookmark? So I tried that and was much happier with the nice clean edges. Like there's no fraying or anything. But I don't care for this, just having the ribbon looped through. So I played with 3 of them. And, I mean, I'll take them and put them out there, but I'm not a fan of this part here. I'm just picky. I'm like, I know it's all handmade, and I should not be a perfectionist or try to be a perfectionist, but I am, like, really picky. I notice every mistake I make. So we stuck with that same style, and I placed an order on Amazon for some bookmark tassels. Now, I ordered a box of 100. I get the box, finally, open it up, and there's only 49 tassels in it. I was not happy, so we'll see what Amazon does about it. It's not their fault. It's whoever the actual seller is that supplies Amazon with that product. It's their fault. The box says 100. The listing said 100, but it only contained 49. Anyhow, so I was using up some older pieces of fat quarters that I had, and I made some bookmarks like this. So, like with the tassels, there was no blues, no greens, no like purple or red or pale yellow. And there's supposed to be 20 different colors, 5 of each color. And it wasn't there. So we have these picnic ones. I know there's nothing thrilling about bookmarks, this fabric here. This one is actually, these are actually my favorite with the little words on it. But just showing you the different color tassels. And then there are 3 more. So I had enough out of a partially used fat quarter to make 6 bookmarks. I haven't tested it yet. I don't think out of a full fat quarter. Maybe I have. I think 2, 3. Yeah, okay, maybe that was a full fat quarter. Because I can get 6 of them out of a fat quarter. And that is 18 inches wide, or 18 inches by 21 inches, supposedly. So then I had this one, which is an older fat quarter. And this one was a little easier to pick tassel colors because there's so many different bright colors in it. But it's got all these cute little animals on it. And some of them, it landed just right with the cuts to show the animals, and some of them didn't. But these are cute. But there's 6 of those. And I do like the nice, clean, smooth edge. So we have those. And then I had enough to do 1 out of this Sally fabric, the, Nightmare Before Christmas. 1 out of this fabric. And it was getting harder to pick a tassel that would go with it. And 1 out of this fabric. And this is one that it didn't really quite line up, but it still looks cute. This one, I have like 3 or 4 of these, of this fabric for the fat quarters. And this is from back in 2020 as well. So I did 2. I do like the words on the fabric. Did 2 of those. I had enough of this left to do 3. And again, struggling to pick tassel colors because the package didn't come with everything it was supposed to have. Then I had enough of this fabric left to do 4. And I just tried matching, but these have the little bees on them. And I like these too. So this one, the bees kind of cut off. Well, anyways, that's 24 bookmarks. It took me longer to actually cut and iron than it did to do the rest of it. So 24 of those. Not quite sure how to price it. So let's look at it like this. If you have a fat quarter depending on where you buy it and the brand of, like the designer of the fabric. We'll just call it $2, because of sales tax. So if you have $2 and you divide that by 6, that's say 33 cents in fabric. The tassel, the interfacing, and a little bit of thread. I'm going to guess about 50 to 55 cents to make it. And that's going on the high end, because some of the fat quarters you can find for 99 cents. Some of them you can find, for $1.29. So that's using the higher end of the price. So I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards like $3. Something like that. So then the other thing that I made, using up, this is what I used up the fat quarter, because of the way they cut it and the print style. I couldn't use it for its intended purpose. So it's just been around here for a while. But Mary and I were talking on the phone, and she mentioned catnip kickers. I'm like, what the heck is that? So we had to do some research. Looked on Etsy, looked on YouTube, and I might be a little wide and maybe not long enough, but they are so many different sizes on Etsy that I couldn't decide. So what I ended up doing was, because of the way this fabric was cut, I could get 4 out of this piece of fabric if I went, I got to think here for a minute, 6 inches wide and 9 inches tall. And then I was able to, it wasn't a legitimate fat quarter, but then I was able to get 4 out of this fat quarter package, and it was a pack of 5, I think, 5 different fabrics. Anyways, it's a repeat. I didn't make all of them. I'm just going to do a couple, but the ones that I have finished are repeats. Like, I have a couple of each, some with ribbon on it and some without. But this is Tote tested and approved. But this print was too large to do smaller things like this, but it was perfect for something this size. Panda bear, polar bear. So what they do, if you've never heard of these like me, is the cats will wrap their arms around one end of it, and then they kick their back legs at the bottom. And it's filled with polyfill, which, of course, I already had on hand, and catnip. I can smell the catnip through it. And if I can smell it, the cats can smell it. And Toby had a blast with his last night. He got the first one to test it out to see if it was something that I wanted to do. But I might be a little wide and a little short. I don't know. I'll keep an eye on Toby. But for what I already have cut on this fabric, this is the size they're going to be. Some with ribbons, some without. But that's what I made. And these were really quick. These, when I was sewing the edges of the ones that I have done, I just did it like an assembly line. I just kept running it through the machine and figured out an easy way to flip it right side out. Got the little ribbons. And it was funny. I'm like, well, how long should they be? I don't know. I just stretched them out the length of the sewing machine, cut, tied a knot in the middle, stuck it in there to secure it, backstitch over it. And then I took a lighter and did the ends so that it wouldn't fray, which it's going to eventually. But if that happens, my suggestion would be cut the ribbon off, or get one that doesn't have the ribbon. But anyhow, that is what I have gotten done. And today, oh, my stuff finally came from Amazon that I've been waiting on. On Monday, Jenna and I went to the flea market in the morning, and oh, they had the best produce prices in their farmers market. Oh my gosh. I got 3 baskets of zucchini. Good sized zucchini. Like 2 of the baskets contained 3, and one, the zucchini was a little bit smaller, so there was 4. So I got 10 zucchini for $4. And then they had bell peppers. Do you know how expensive a bell pepper is at the grocery store? Almost $3 for, like, if you want yellow or orange or red and not just the standard green, but almost $3 for a single bell pepper. I got 6 bell peppers, green, red, and yellow mixed for $3. So I spent $7, and we came home Monday night and I made taco zucchini boats for dinner. They were so freaking good. I love fresh zucchini. I prefer fresh vegetable over frozen or canned, or just give me fresh. It was so good. So probably tomorrow night, not tonight because Jenna has to close at work, we're going to do stuffed bell peppers because she really likes those. But anyway, so we left the flea market and we went to this thrift store, which is like the Sheriff's Youth Ranch type thrift store. Everything goes to benefit that. And they were running a special, depending on the tag color, then the price was $1. So I was able to get 6, because I got a pair of shorts, but they'll fit John, and they look brand new. 6 pairs of men's denim jeans, because the spandex is not in, it's not stretchy. So I get to try and do my bag, because all my stuff is here now, and I have some fabric to work with. So I'm like kind of excited to get that started today. So I'm going to go. And, oh yeah, and we have a market Friday night, so there is no live Friday night this week. Just a reminder. So, yeah, I'm going to go. And we'll see you in the next video.